So what is the blind buy in record collecting, and why might you want to try it? Stay tuned.
Get ready for Rockley, bringing music to you. Rockley, rock and roll, metal and country too. Get ready for the record of the week. Get ready for Rockley.
So a blind buy to me is when you purchase an album and have very little to no knowledge of its contents. So maybe you know the genre, you might be familiar with some of the musicians on the album, but you've never listened to the record. You may have heard a single, or you're vaguely familiar with the band, or maybe you're familiar with the band and there's an album from their discography that you've just never heard of or have come across. And it's purchasing that album without listening to it prior. And I think that it's really exciting, right? Because you don't know what you're getting into. I do this a lot based on recommendations. So from friends, or especially the record shop I go to, the owners there, I just really dig their taste in music, and when they give me a suggestion, I, 9 times out of 10, I'll give it a try, because it's usually right in my wheelhouse of listening, and it's a great way to discover new music and find artist rabbit holes to jump down and discographies to explore. It's a really fun aspect of record collecting, and I think if you haven't given it a try, you should go in blind and pick out something purely based on the cover art. Never judge a book by its cover, but I think with records, I would never pass on an album because of its cover art, but if you're drawn to a cover for whatever reason, it speaks to you, I say go for it. Give it a try. If the hype sticker is getting you hype, why not give it a spin? You can always, if it's a dud to you, trade it, sell it, whatever. But you might find something that otherwise you would have never given a chance. So that's my take on the blind buy, and I'll show you a few blind buys that I just picked up and give you my thoughts on them. Okay, so here are some recent blind buys I've picked up. This is Harvard, The Inevitable and I. This is off a label called Enjoy the Ride, and they typically reissue kind of emo, pop punk from the early 2000s. This is definitely like a 5-piece, dreamy, indie pop, emo-ish, and really, really like it. Like I said, I'm a fan of the Enjoy the Ride label. They do a fantastic job reissuing some of these albums that I was really into in high school. So it's really cool to see them on vinyl for the first time. And they do a really good job. So really good mastering for the vinyl format. These are all recorded digitally, but they sound great. And the packaging, this one is really cool. It's got this spot gloss printing on it. So it's hard to show on camera, but all the waves are shiny, and then the background is this matte finish, and it really just really pops, really looks great. And they always do like these wild color variants, and really limited, but this album I have listened to on repeat. I'm so glad I picked this up. It sold out really quick, and it's just a really great release. Really pleased with this blind buy. This one is Wolfgang Van Halen and the album Mammoth. I kept seeing this pop up in the VC. People were really excited about this, and it's a solid rock album, and I need to give it some more time. and more listens to really digest it, but it's really not bad. I get why the vinyl community is been really excited about this one. I think it was Melinda Murphy's video. She was talking about this album that I decided to pull the trigger on it, and really good rock album. This is Morphine and Cure for Pain. It jazz fusion is kind of how I would describe it. Very awesome production on this album. Great sound. Really dig it. I think VC member Ron Beaudry, probably over a year ago, was talking about Morphine and how much he was really digging their discography, and I had put it on my to listen list, and I just took forever to get around to buying a copy for myself. But for a blind buy, I'd really like to get some of their other albums. I think they're just out of print right now, or I can't find a good copy. But really, if you're into the jazz fusion stuff, this is really good. This is Floatsman Jetsam and Jerome at Atmosphere Collectibles, the record store I buy most of my records from. They have anyway, he suggested this one to me, and I friggin' love this. It's just so many awesome riffs on here. It's just an awesome metal album. I guess you could say thrash metal, and I just really enjoyed it from start to finish. Very energetic, and for never hearing this band before, I really would like to dive into their discography further and find some more gems by them, because I believe this is their most recent album, so I imagine, and I think they have a pretty deep discography, so I'm looking forward to diving into Flotsam and Jetsam. So I picked this one up purely based on the hype sticker, and I don't know if I can get it to focus here, but it says the Districts will be your new favorite band. And I was like, man, that's kind of a cocky or overly confident statement, because I had never heard of this band, but I got the impression just based on the cover art that it was kind of like an indie rock band, and I like indie rock. So anyway, I decided to give it a go, and I really like the songs. It's really not interesting. I think a poor production choice of this distortion that they've laid over top of everything, and it really annoyed me on the first listen. Let's do it again, and just kind of tried to ignore it. And I like the songs, and I liked it enough to I bought a few of their other albums, and I dig them. I think they're a really good group. But yeah, just a weird production choice on this one. I'm not sure why, because I think if they just removed that whatever filter they threw on top, it would sound a lot better. But I still think it's worth giving a try if you haven't heard of the Districts. Poetry on Plastic, another VC member. I had posted a meme about listening to emo music, and he's a fellow emo music consumer, and he was talking about this one, and I actually had never heard. I think I'm probably gonna butcher the name, but I think it's Cheetos. And anyway, he was like, "Oh man, that album's really good. You should try it out." And so I found a copy, and yeah, he was right. It's if you're into emo music at all, this is definitely like bread and butter emo. It's really awesome. you know, you kind of got these whiny, screamy, at times vocals, kind of the good cop, bad cop thing going on. And anyway, I really like it, and worth checking out if you're into the emo genre. Ty Segall. Ty Segall's one I've heard of. I've seen this cover in particular all over the place forever, and constantly hear his name, but just never gave him a listen. And I was traveling in North Carolina and stopped by Roller City Records. I can't remember, but the record store owner there, I told him, you know, I like guitar-based music and indie rock, some hard rock, metal. Anyway, Ty Segall came up, and he was like, "Oh, if you haven't listened to Ty Segall," and anyway, he picked this one out. He had like, I don't know, 5 or 6 Ty Segall albums, and this was the one. He was like, "Oh, you should start with this one." So, yeah, brought this one home, and love it. Love the guitar on here. Very, like, I don't know, garage rock, kind of indie, psychedelic, just love it. From track to track, the songs are diverse and eclectic. I really digging this one. And then finally, this was another one. Whenever this came out on Record Store Day, I saw this everywhere, and everybody talking about this, and I had never heard of it, never seen this cover, but you know, especially on Instagram, follow a lot of folks on there, and developed some relationships, and I've learned about a ton of new bands and music that I really enjoyed. So anyway, when I saw some of the folks that I know that our tastes are very similar post this album, I was like, oh man, if they repress that, I'm going to try to pick one up. And anyway, this popped up, they repressed it, and Blind By, I love it. It's that definitely like glam rock from the night, like with the 90s kind of like production on it, and I was really just surprised. It's not what I expected, and I don't even know what I expected, but I really like it. And anyway, that's all I have for you guys. Like I said, I think you should start taking more chances. You know, buy albums that you would have never bought purely based on what people are recommending to you, or just based on the cover art. You know, if it speaks to you, give it a spin, give it a try. I don't think you'll be disappointed. So anyway, you just had a healthy dose of broccoli, and I'll see you next time.